What's going on, Jabronis, and welcome to episode number 3 of the relaunch of Jabroni Sports. As always, you can find us on Twitter at Jabroni_sports. I am your host, AJ Firstenau. You can find me on Twitter at AJFUERSTENAU. I'm joined tonight by...
Actually, I have a new Twitter handle. Zach, but my new Twitter handle is It's Your Boy Gonzo. So
It's Your Boy Gonzo.
Well, I mean, how else do you get a hold of somebody on Twitter?
There's like the title of the name.
But you have to add.
It's an ad. If you're a user.
I said Twitter, so I didn't think I would have to do the ad.
Well, but on Twitter you can put your name and your handle.
It's Your Boy Gonzo. So that's where I am. If you'd like to find me and interact. Got some things going on, and
are there any other forms of internet presence we can find you on?
I usually do give another one, but I gave just Twitter this week because I got a new handle. I didn't want to confuse people.
Okay, so
you can find me as a Jewel Smart Shopper online as well. If you'd like to see what I'm putting in my cart.
What's in the cart this week?
He can't. Don't reveal that.
Well, I give a little teaser.
Like what if like a wish list if somebody wants to buy it?
I have full-size carrots. I think baby carrots are fucking annoying.
Oh, yeah, super annoying.
I wanted some full-size carrots. I was thinking about making like some soup or a little stew and, nice full-size carrots like Bugs Bunny would eat.
You're just going to throw the carrots in there?
No, you dice them up.
Okay, I was just making sure. You just said...
Slice them up.
You said like Bugs Bunny and throw the characters in there.
Well, no, I just want I want to see the green part. Like, baby carrots are like... I don't even know if these are carrots. They could be made in a factory. Like, what?
They probably are.
Yeah, like, those don't seem real. They're too crunchy.
And I'm Gianni James at GBabyLaFleur.
Damn, I was going to wait for an awkward pause just to be like, wow, that's really interesting. But yes, moving on. Johnny, and tonight we have a guest. Joining us tonight is...
My name's Colin. I'm one of Zach's buddies. My Twitter, I'm not very active on Twitter. I'll go on there once in a while at Colin Tarno. Colin with 2 L's.
So what's going on, Colin? Thank you for joining us.
Fresh off work, just... came to kick it. Zach asked me to be on the show, so I said, why not?
That works. We are here tonight to talk
This actually means you're contractually obligated to tell everyone you know to listen to the show.
That's
part of the deal.
That's part of the deal.
That's why we're bringing you here.
That's part of the exposure.
Otherwise, people normally pay for these spots.
Can you get in touch with the youths?
I'll try.
All right.
You're younger than all of us.
Yeah,
so.
if you can get us in with the youths, I think we think that's what we're aiming for.
We're on YouTube, and the youths like YouTube.
The youths are big on YouTubers, so
that's true.
That's what we're hoping for.
We're trying to get to 6 listeners total, so
we're shooting for that. I mean,
we had 20 the first week.
Wow.
I don't know. It was like 25 or something. It was weird.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
Also, shout-outs to our listener in Delhi.
Yeah, shouts out to Delhi. I don't know if you listen every week, but I sure hope you come back.
Which Delhi?
India.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about like Max Deli or something.
No, not just like a Delhi, like the city of Delhi. I'm sorry.
Matthew Deli.
Yes.
I thought we were talking about Deladova.
The slingshot 3-pointer.
I don't want Deladova listening to our podcast.
What?
I'm going to talk really...
He's an NBA player.
Because I'm going to talk real spicy about his peak athletic shoes.
Dude, I get suggested ads for Matthew Dellavedova's shoes all the time.
All day on Instagram.
I hate it so much.
Hey, what's going on, guy? You want some Deladova shoes? And I'm like, no! Oh, they are Packer colors.
There's those green and gold because that's the Australian national team colors too. But yep, they played that up for sure. Does anyone here own a pair of Matthew Dellavedova signature sneakers?
No, nobody does.
No, I mean a couple of you collect a lot of sneakers. Nothing.
No.
I never considered it.
I've considered Lou Williams shoes. That was about as close as I got to it. And D-Wade's. Those are the only Chinese shoes I considered.
I did get a pair of Li Ning's, the D-Wade's.
Yeah, which ones?
I think it was the 3s, the All-Star ones, where it was like green, like splatter kind of.
Okay. They look really cool.
What about you never considered you wouldn't buy Clay shoes?
I don't know.
I couldn't do it.
No?
I like Clay, but I don't like his shoes. I mean, some of them are okay, but I've heard they run really narrow and
I hear
wide feet.
I hear you tear your ACLs when you're wearing them as well.
Oh. So, I thought that was the D Roses.
There's a lot of similarity.
Speaking of which,
between those two shoes.
I wanted to give Johnny a shout out because Johnny actually has a D Rose almost life-size magnet on his refrigerator.
Mm-hmm. Is that for real?
That is for real. It's
like right there?
Yeah. You can see it. It's I mean, I'm sure I got it off a fixture at a certain place. But, yeah. And Johnny's still representing all these years later. He told me good things are coming to the Pistons because they got D Rose. So.
As luck would have it, we're gonna talk a little Detroit basketball.
Everybody's
tonight.
still sleeping on D Rose. I'm telling you, man.
We do have a D Rose stand in our midst still somehow, despite all these years.
Love for Derek never stops.
Even when Derek does.
Derek often stops.
Well, he's got to stop for PJ's graduation.
Derek has to take breaks.
He's got to be ready for it.
Derek has to make sure that his body feels good.
He should go play for the Suns. Do they still have the same training staff?
Oh, like when Steve Nash was there and they were magical?
When they were like, hey,
everybody stay healthy.
Come on down. You can extend your career.
Amari Stoudemire left Phoenix and never played 80 games again. Like, never even got close.
But he did get a signature shoe.
He did. But he started missing 20 games minimum.
I know.
It was something that desert air. I don't know what it was, but Phoenix once legendary in that department.
Yeah.
Now pretty much just legendary for being a laughingstock of the NBA.
That's fair. That's fair.
Speaking of laughingstocks of the NBA,
The Bucks.
let's no. We are tonight. We are talking Central Division. We are breaking down some NBA Central Division teams.
All right.
So
Light it up.
to start at the bottom.
Start from the bottom.
Because at least you know what, that gives us nowhere to go but up. Let's look at it on the bright side. This past season, coming in 5th place in the Central Division, were the Cleveland Cavaliers. This guy who used to play for Cleveland didn't play for Cleveland anymore. I think
J.R. Smith.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
J.R. didn't play this year. That really affected the Cavs.
That was one of the big.
That was when their season went to shit.
That was one of the big stories of Cleveland's season was J.R. Smith. LeBron James left too, but mostly it was J.R. Smith not being available, and they never recovered, stumbling out of the blocks en route to a 19-63 record.
I mean, there's no one around to chuck soup to keep people in line.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really, really tough. So
Chucking bowls of soup.
Like I said, LeBron leaving, sure, it hurts. Yeah, okay. But anyways, they started out 0-6. They fired Ty Lue, which everyone kind of assumed Ty Lue was going to get fired at some point. It was weird. He started the season as a lame duck coach, and as soon as they got off to a rough start, he was gone. They brought in Larry Drew for their interim coach. He recently was relieved of his duties as well, as they hired longtime Michigan head coach John Beilein to take over the operation.
It's really weird.
It's an interesting.
I thought it was a good pickup.
It's a really interesting hire.
It's weird.
It's weird. Like there's only how so?
I don't know too much. I don't follow college, but I just know he's been the coach forever, and I'm just curious if what he does on the college level is going to translate to the NBA. And if it does, great. But why hasn't this happened sooner? Why?
I feel like he wanted to stay at Michigan more so for that, but I like it. It was a good pickup for the Cavs, I think, because they don't even know what direction they're probably going to go. And I thought it was good for Beilein because he had a lot of success at Michigan. He 2 straight Final Fours. And then there's no pressure on him there. Everybody knows Cleveland's going to suck again next year, so it's not like if he only wins 23 games or whatever, they're going to be mad. And then he's got a couple young players. Colin Sexton played really well at the end of the year last year.
Yeah, he did.
And if Kevin Love stays healthy, they'll have a decent little 1-2 pick and roll punch or something.
Do you think they keep Kevin Love?
It doesn't sound like he's going to be there. Maybe he'll start the season in Cleveland. Maybe not down the road, but
I would agree with that. At this point, it seems too late in the game for him to move preseason.
Plus, his contract's pretty sizable too. So,
and he only played 25 games last year. So I think Kevin Love kind of has to prove it a little bit at the start of the year, even if they're going to shop him. I
always feel bad for Kevin Love because everybody now, especially the kids, they think of Kevin Love with LeBron, and they don't think about how big of a beast that man was in Minnesota.
All right, hold on. Was he a beast in Minnesota, or was he a stat stuffer?
30 games. Well, who else was on the team?
But that's my point. Was he a stat stuffer on a horrible team?
Carlos Boozer.
No.
Hold on.
Boozer was a stat stuffer with those defensive rebounds.
Kevin Love is way better than Carlos Boozer.
Hey, I got bad news for Carlos Boozer. He was actually dropped from
the
Big Three.
Yeah.
He was released today. He was released from the Ghost Ballers.
He got released.
The Ghost Ballers haven't had a hot start, and they released. They made a trade as well, which, if I'm being completely honest, didn't know was a thing in the Big Three. But
I didn't know you could get released unless it was for getting arrested.
Odom can ball now.
Yeah. Lamar Odom's on a team with Royce White, I believe.
He got dropped, didn't he?
Yeah,
he got kicked out.
Oh, did Lamar already get
Did he get kicked out or did he get injured?
I think he got kicked out of the league.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should be more up on my Big 3 news.
That's definitely part of your brand.
It is, but you know what? There's one team running away with it, and I forgot their name, but it's Al Jefferson and Joe Johnson.
Oh, the Joe Johnson team. Yeah.
No, that team just got beat.
But still, hold on.
They did?
We didn't watch this past week. So I don't know why. We had tons of opportunity. I assumed you had.
I tried watching it last night, but the CBS upload is so trash.
You
I gotta wait
for the guy who does it.
Yeah, I gotta wait for the other guy.
We gotta figure out who that guy is because honestly,
I want to get him on the show.
Yeah, he is a godsend. There's somebody who does Big 3 highlight videos, and they're actually great.
Really?
It boils the game down to like a super entertaining 8 to 10 minute watch.
Yep.
And it's fantastic.
Also found a guy that uploads old Bulls games with commercials from the 90s.
From the 96 season. There's somebody else, their channel is mostly just uploading 96 Bulls games. In their entirety, featuring commercials.
Yeah,
and
don't tell too many people. We can talk about it now because we don't have a ton of listeners. That channel has fewer than 10,000 views every
Wait,
video.
why are we releasing this? It's going to get shut down now.
We'll censor it out.
Because we don't matter. No one's going to, no one that matters is listening to us
matter
right now.
I don't know what these guys are talking about. This channel doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Hit subscribe.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I'm not trying to snitch on anybody.
All right.
My bad.
Pull it up.
My bad. No, it's okay. It's okay.
All right.
But anyways, can we can I peel it back just a little, back to the John Beilein hire for a second? I super agree with Colin because I think it's a situation where the Cavs are acknowledging that both their team and their head coach are probably going to have some growing pains, but they're banking on Beilein growing with a super young team and kind of learning on the job, and because he's accustomed to working with college players. He's honestly accustomed to working with guys about the age of most of his team. His core P players are all 20, 21 years old.
Except for Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Love, I would say, not as much. They acquired 3 players in the first round of this past draft. They got Darius Garland at number 5, who a lot of people are very high on. He's a talented point guard from Vanderbilt.
Didn't he tear his ACL last year?
He played 5 games. Only played 5 games last season. Also, I think there's some pretty legitimate question marks about how him and Sexton fit as backcourt mates.
Yeah. Because
they are both 6'2" scoring guards that play shaky defense.
Yeah. 6'2" pretty undersized, too, for the two.
One of them has to be the 2 at some point. I don't know how, long term, I get that Garland's really talented, and I get that, you kind of sometimes take best player available when you're terrible, but when the fit is this bad, I question Cleveland making the pick there. Because even if it pans out, I think it just creates an awkward situation with Sexton now. Where are you going to be forced to move a third-year guy who's I don't know. It seems like you could paint yourself in a corner pretty easily.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Boogie tweet when they drafted, was it Willie Cauley-Stein?
Yeah.
And he just tweeted out the praying hands.
A trade's coming for someone. Please, God, let it be me. The Cavs also intelligently utilized some of their cap space to acquire 2 additional first-round picks, one of which became Belmont player Dylan Windler, the sniper from Belmont.
It's a made-up person.
I didn't know it was real.
He is
made
real.
that up right now.
Dylan Windler he was the 26th overall pick. You can look him up.
Is that a white guy? That sounds like a white guy name.
I heard he was a sniper in college.
Dude, because he was, if John Morant wasn't in that conference, if he wasn't in the Ohio Valley, this dude would have been way more of a thing. Because he was the best player in a mid-major conference. But John Morant was incredible, so he didn't get as much pub. Because for a guy from Belmont to go in the first round, pretty impressive.
Isn't that a horse race or something?
That's what I thought. The Belmont 500.
It is.
Is it a NASCAR
Belmont
race?
500? The horses have to run for 500 miles?
They get pit stops and everything.
Of course. Of course. They get a few carrots.
They eat oats,
Baby carrots.
They get washed real quick.
No baby carrots.
And they change their shoes. That's where they go, gee.
That sounds so painful.
It's like changing the tires.
Yeah, exactly. But, he's a real player, I promise. And then also, they used some of their cap space as well to eventually acquire the Bucks' number 30 overall selection, where they took shooting guard Kevin Porter Jr., who I think makes more sense as a 2 than either of their
I thought he was a 3.
But I think he makes more sense as a 2, though, is what I'm saying. I think they have, the Cavs are going to be playing a lot of guys out of position. They're young and they'll be bad, so it doesn't matter.
We haven't even talked about the best player on the team.
Hold on. You mean where I have other key players, Sexton, Love, and Osman.
Okay.
Is that what
Just
you're
making
referring
sure.
to?
Just making sure you had Osman down there.
We're getting to Jetty Osman. Okay. Don't worry. Don't worry, my friend.
Superstar Jedi.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he was one of the bright spots for that team last year.
Absolutely.
He went from just being LeBron's buddy and towel waver in the playoffs to, at the very least, I think, proving himself to be a rotational wing.
Helped me win a championship in my fantasy basketball league. I'll tell you that much.
Is that like for real?
What's that?
Helped you win a fantasy basketball?
He was literally on my starting roster on my dynasty basketball team, and I won the championship.
That's embarrassing.
No, he's really good because he got good 3-point percentages, good free throws, good field goals. He made a decent number of threes. He rarely turned the ball over,
And he was getting 30 minutes a night, so he was doing fine.
And he was playing full games.
Yeah.
So,
especially towards the end of the season in basketball fantasy, if you're healthy, you're in good shape. Because if a guy,
just like normal basketball.
Yeah, exactly. Because so many teams are banged up that by the end of the year, I remember one of my big pickups was Thomas Sadaransky. That was a guy where it was oh, sweet one.
You're basically at the end of the year looking for guys that are playing 30 minutes a night.
Joe Harris was a godsend.
And I had one fantasy. The year I won fantasy basketball, my team was loaded. I think it was 2015. I had Isaiah Thomas when he was with Boston.
His good year?
Yeah.
His one good year?
John Wall before he tore his Achilles slipping on his floor.
John Wall.
James Harden, Draymond Green, Hassan Whiteside the year before he got his max deal. And I had Andre Drummond.
Oh, you got hungry?
And you got good young Drummond when Drummond still tried. Damn, that is
Disney stars.
That is a perfect storm of fantasy relevance. And
I was winning rebounds and blocks easily every week.
Jeez, yeah, you're probably doubling and tripling teams.
Johnny.
Trying to get that contract, Whiteside was the best Whiteside.
Yes. Yeah. Fresh out of the G League Whiteside. He came ready to wreck shit.
No,
he got
his money.
He's fine. He's fine. Gotta say, he's
another
still
stat
good.
guy. He doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't really. I don't think he contributes much to a winning team. But I mean, whatever.
He's a dinosaur.
Yep.
He's going to pull a Larry Sanders and just retire and just sit at home, smoke weed, and watch DBZ.
Collect that money.
You would do that if you could.
Hell yeah, I would.
All right, can I bring up a point?
About the Cavs?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you think they're going to bring back the black and blue jerseys? The back with the baby blue?
The mid-90s throwback?
Yeah, the orange.
That'd be cool.
I would be in favor of it. I think that jersey, it has come back around to where, it would be
You got to bring that one back.
Especially, I mean, the Grizzlies have already announced they're going to use the Vancouver throwbacks this year, which...
That'd be dope.
It's about the same era. That jersey... those jerseys right now are super in. I think the Timberwolves could use their, nice blue with, the tree lining thing that they used to have.
Yeah, on the collars.
Yep. There's, that. It's about right, because a lot of those looks are, 25, 30 years old. That's about when things usually are, retro cool again.
I want the Bucks to wear the Buck ones.
The actual Buck on them?
Like the good ones, yes.
Johnny, talk about your favorite Bulls.
From the purple and green Bucks.
Talk about your favorite Bulls throwback.
Bulls throwback?
Yeah.
They don't...
The Bulls.
Bulls throwback is just the names in cursive.
They have that one where it's in cursive. Yep, that's the one Jordan wore. When Jordan was a rookie, they wore those.
I haven't seen them bring back the which one? The pinstripe ones.
I like the black ones.
The black pinstripe ones?
Yeah.
It's
with the black with the red?
With the red pinstripes, though, right?
Yeah,
I believe so.
That's the only pinstripe I know.
Yep,
I saw that they are bringing back the green ones, though.
The St. Patrick's ones?
That they were in 2009.
Those are terrible.
Those are one of the worst jerseys
ever.
Those
are horrible. They look like they got spilled on, lime Kool-Aid was dumped on them.
They're too dark.
It's not the right green. It's not a St. Patty's green. Exactly.
It's like a Fortis green. It's a little too dark. Why does this look like autumn?
I was so happy when the Bucks changed uniforms. We had the worst in the league.
When we were the Christmas Bucks.
Hey.
The Christmas Bucks.
Hey,
era?
Those are the good old Michael Redd years.
No, I mean, I don't know about good old Michael Redd years.
Yeah.
Those are the sweet.
When Michael
Ersan was still there.
No, but when Michael Redd was actually good, though, they were still the Purple Bucks. Because when Michael Redd got his money, it started then tore his ACL twice in a row, and then
the first
that was Christmas Bucks. But good Michael Redd was Purple Bucks.
You guys are thinking of Monta Ellis and Brandon Jennings.
There was no good Monta Ellis for the Bucks.
Those were the years.
They should. Couldn't they have traded him for
Steph Curry or whatever? That's fine. Let's not get into that. That's old.
All right. What else do we got to talk about?
Let's not discuss hurtful things. I think one of the only questions that I have with the Cavs that we haven't discussed already is where do they draw the line in terms of guys that they ship this year? Because I think you have to like try to sell off anybody that's not a core piece. Like, I would move Kevin Love for sure.
Yeah.
Can you? One of the questions I have is, can you even move Tristan Thompson?
Oh, there's no way. Nobody
wants
There's
that,
no reason.
right?
Yeah, there's no point because you'd have to attach a pick, and right now they shouldn't be interested in
He makes
attaching
too
picks
much,
to
and
anything.
Nobody wants the contract. He doesn't do anything except for rebound. He can't score. He doesn't do anything.
Yep,
And he's just always in trouble off the court.
And
And
he's
it's
got
not
the
real
Kardashians.
trouble. It's just drama trouble.
Although they do have the slightly more tradable version of that, I think, in John Henson, who will be an expiring contract this next year for 11. Like,
not too bad.
paying John Henson $11 million is not super appetizing, but if it's an expiring deal,
and he shoots threes now.
Yeah, he was showing that in Milwaukee before he traded.
I would rather.
And then he didn't play in Cleveland.
Well, he broke his hand, I think.
But who would you rather have right now, John Henson or Tristan Thompson?
John Henson.
John Henson.
Better contract.
Wait.
He's a younger team.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
about-
That's what I'm saying. If for nothing else than the fact that it's a 1 year, $11 million,
Right.
like the deal alone breaks any. It's not even a tie to me. But if it was a tie, I'd still take Henson. Because
What
of
about
that.
Jim Nance?
Oh, Larry Nance?
Yeah, Larry Nance.
We're
Larry,
going to trade a broadcaster.
yeah.
What about him? What about Jim Nance?
Larry Nance, I think, is about like the cutoff because you could go either way with him.
I like him.
He's
do,
like
but I don't
25, 26.
I don't think
He's
he's.
just at the like cutoff of like he might still be there if you're good in 4 years.
I think he's the definition of like a guy. I guess it's not a definition, but what he is a guy that if you're a good team and you draft him when he's younger and you get him for those cheap 4 years and he's like a bench 7th or 8th, 9th man, he's fine. But like the Cavs are never going to be in that position. They're going to have to pay him or they already paid him, but they're going to have to pay him again before they're good. So like, do you really want to keep doing this? Like, get something.
You guys are forgetting something important. He can jump really high.
He
Do you
sure
see
can.
that?
Yeah.
That man can get up. You got to pay that guy max contract with those
No, you
hops, right?
Like,
All right.
I was just gonna say though, I love the concept of what you brought up there, Zach, about like the players that are good. Like when they're good value, they're good to have. Basically, like the guys that are like hit second round picks or like late firsts, and like while you're not paying them, it's great. But then as soon as you have to pay them like $13 million a year, they're not a plus asset anymore. They instantly depreciate in value. They're not as good.
The Knicks will sign him. Don't worry.
Like, like once Alonzo Trier is making like $448, he's all of a sudden not as attractive.
No.
Right now, when he's the undrafted guy that you're paying like not even guaranteed like minimum to
$600,000.
He's a great value. I love him. Like, of course they love him right now in New York. Of course they but like as soon as he like actually wants to get a little like well, we don't know if you're that good.
Clear Jets mistake.
Yeah, well, you're not all that. But that's such a very NBA thing. But yeah, I mean Jordan Clarkson should be gone. There's no reason for him to be on that team.
I thought he was gone. Honestly.
I did too. I was like, Jordan, he's still.
Yeah, no.
I had to update my 2K rosters
Just
like
to make
3
sure.
different places. I'm like, I don't think so.
He was there the whole year.
He's still here.
He was
right.
there the whole year, which made no sense last year. It for sure shouldn't
He
happen
gets
this
buckets.
He must have forgot the Mamba mentality.
year. He learned in LA. Yeah, Jordan Clarkson was pretty like on that trash Lakers team. He was pretty good for a minute in time.
He was good this past year because he played in games that didn't matter.
Yeah, so he's really good. Like if you need him to contribute in a playoff series, I think he's proven enough that you can't count on him to do that.
No.
All right.
So, in big picture on the Cavs, I think they're pretty safe bet to bring up the rear again this year by design.
Yeah.
I think the Cavs will probably finish with around 20 to 25 wins. I think that they're hoping for some just personal development and growth from Sexton and Garland. And then I think you try to get first or second round picks where you can with the rest of the guys. And
Go straight OKC with it.
You hope your 14% does you good in the
They
lottery.
got a lot left to trade.
And away you go. Like, what do you guys think?
I would agree. I think you have to figure out the point guard situation because even if you want guys to develop, it's impossible, like mentally, for a guy to develop if you have two guys that are clearly point guards on the same.
When you're
like,
playing good teams, you're going to be playing elite or bigger shooting guards.
Real two guards.
Yeah, you can't get away with it. And I just think that they have to make that decision before the deadline. Just it puts a player at ease. It helps them develop. I think if they can trade guys like Jordan Clarkson, Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, if they can trade them and actually get something, do it. But if you got to attach picks, ride that shit out, man.
Eat that money.
Yeah.
Eat that money. Right now, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
right now,
like you said, they're not going to be good for a while, no matter what. So
They're in the very early stages. I mean, like I said, they've done a good job. They've been pretty smart. I think there's reason to believe that they acquire more capital. That they're going to give themselves a lot of shots. They 3 first-round picks this year is a good start. If any of it pans out, who knows? But that's the NBA.
Yeah, we'll see.
Like how long? I mean, the Sixers rebuild took like 8 years. Yeah, like 8 years. So Cavs are in.
They weren't even done
for being in off-season one, like a full year after LeBron left. I think the Cavs are not one of the most hopeless teams to me. I think there's at least glimmers of hope for the future.
Bringing up Philly, I don't want to. We're about to wrap up the Cavs. I don't want to get too off into it, but does the salary cap not apply to Philly? They're paying they just maxed out Ben Simmons, and now they're gonna have over 4 players making $25 million a year. What are they doing?
Their tax bill,
dude. They're ready to win it all. What do you mean?
They have. That's exactly. They have to basically if that.
I don't think they are, but I think they think
they think they are absolutely.
Ben Simmons ever shoots outside of 2 feet.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it with Philly. I really don't. I mean, I guess we probably all said that about Toronto last year, but I do not see it with them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, not going to be a tax-paying team. These Cleveland Cavaliers.
I hope not.
And we're still talking about the Cavs?
I don't think so. I think I
didn't even know they were in the league last year. I thought they took the year off.
No.
Yeah, they did. They
died when LeBron left.
Basically. But that's all right. So we'll lay to rest. I think we all consensus last place. Does anybody disagree?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
I agree.
Okay, so bringing us to last year's 4th place finisher, the 22-60 Chicago Bulls.
Hey, all right, Bulls.
Bulls, as most years lately, got off to a pretty rough start. As most years lately, were pretty banged up a lot of the year. And Fred Hoiberg, very, very predictably, took the blame for that and was let go early on in the season. He was replaced by interim coach Jim Boylan, who after the season was given a contract extension.
Not the previous Jim Boylan that they had a
coach. New bald gym coach Jim Boylan. And he was given the official head coaching job. He is no longer the interim. He signed a 3-year deal.
Wow.
That was surprising.
Worst coach in the NBA?
He's up there.
I'll never forget the quote that he was saving. He pulled a guy from a game early because he was saving him for practice. That's one of the most absurd quotes I've ever heard by an NBA head coach.
Well, it was a game they were getting blown out, and he wanted to have a good, hard practice the next day.
Was it after a back-to-back?
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter.
When everybody almost revolted against him for it.
Yes. Yeah.
The Bucks or the Bulls said that never happened.
My favorite part about
even though the players on the Bulls said it did.
Bobby Portis was about to knock him out like he did Mirotic.
He knocked Mirotic out of the NBA, back over to Europe.
He knocked his 3-point shooting out of the playoffs too.
Very helpful.
My favorite part about the Bulls season is the mutiny that they tried the players to.
That's what we're saying, man. Yeah, when they're like, "No, we're not practicing today." No, you can fuck yourself with that one, buddy. Yeah, because that was they had a back-to-back. They flew in, and then he wanted to go hard at noon the next morning.
Yeah, running suicides and shit.
Yeah, they were doing running drills and stuff. So that's Jim Boylan, ladies and gentlemen.
And the Chicago Bulls.
You're right. That's the Bulls. Also, that's more indicative. Jim Boylan is a symptom. He is not the disease.
I don't know if I've met one Bulls fan who's happy with their front office right now. It's just fire Garpax everywhere.
How could you be
for years?
Yep.
Yeah, it's been like that for a long time for me.
But the thing, they're just the Bulls. The Bulls are going to be better than the Cavs probably, but the Bulls feel so much more hopeless.
I actually like a couple of their young guys. I like Markkanen.
Okay.
I like Wendell Carter if he can stay healthy. And Zach LaVine, he's solid on offense. He plays terrible defense.
Yep.
My brother showed me the stat. He's actually, when he's closely guarding somebody, he's the 4th worst defender in the whole league.
I think the eye test kind of backs that up. That's a case of stats matching up.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's not good on ball and he's not good off ball, so it's pretty bad defending.
Like the same thing as Cleveland. They both got they're 1 and 2 guards. Kobe White's kind of more of a scoring guard, and Zach LaVine's obviously a scoring guard. So I don't know
what's time.
What they're going to be doing.
Yeah, that to me was because Kobe. It was hard because again, though, Kobe White felt like value at number 7. Kobe White feels like a good pick.
Probably would have got Cam Reddish instead of him, though. Honestly.
Yeah. Okay.
But they think Zach LaVine is their 2 guard.
That's true.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still not that big.
No, not at all.
No,
6'4", I
but he
think.
can't guard points or two, so what does it
Yeah.
matter?
True.
If you can guard no position, you can guard every
He
position.
can also jump very high, though.
He can. That's
He can.
Yeah, he can jump really high.
He can
That's a
definitely
good
jump
point.
super, super high.
All right, let's go over who they added.
Yeah, I'll say. In addition, they drafted early on Summer League sensation Daniel Gafford, the number 38 overall selection. Played well the first 2 games. Kind of faded a bit after that, but it was enough to get a 4-year guaranteed deal out of camp for the Bulls. And in free agency, hold on to your hats, boys and girls.
Oh.
The Bulls added Thaddeus Young.
Ooh.
Yeah. That is the
Wow.
center. That is the centerpiece. Unless
To back up their player that arguably is their best player.
to take minutes from Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah.
Evidently, not really sure what that's about.
He's gonna guard all of Bean's players for him.
Yeah. No, he's going to start at the 3.
Yeah. Oh God, Thad Young at the 3.
Yeah.
Now at this point in his career, oh boy, that'd be pain. What about Otto? Yeah.
Nice contract off the bench. I don't know about that.
And
fuck it.
hold on, they also signed Thomas Sadaransky. Okay?
All right, keep going.
Actually,
Another
like
point guard though. It's a
Yeah.
little confusing. They have a lot of backcourt pieces right now.
He had some good games backing up John Wall. Well,
He did.
playing for John Wall last year, and he's got size.
He makes a ton of sense. He seems like a guy Boylan would like.
Yeah.
He's very much a run the offense, don't turn the ball over, shoot when you're wide open kind of guy. And it's fine. And they also signed Luke Cornett, who the stretch center from the Knicks last season, who's just barely worth mentioning.
Wait.
But I did.
There's
What
another.
are you talking about? You made this person up.
No, he shoots threes.
He's a 3. I said he's a stretch center. That's what he.
Hey,
That's what he is,
You
right?
skipped someone. They signed Walt Lemon Jr.
That's a 2-way deal. I'm not gonna. I can't mention 2-way guys.
I
Get
just
outta
like
here.
the name a lot. I wanted to throw it out there.
I'm not going to discuss every team's 2-way guys. Absolutely not.
But I'm going to throw it out there if I like their name.
But okay, so anyways, that's fine. Thank you for the announcement.
Just saying. Cool name.
I think it's fair to say
I agree.
we've mentioned basically all the other key players for the Bulls. Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr. I'd have to put in that category as well.
Chris Dunn.
No, I don't think so
Yeah.
anymore.
No, I don't either.
Otto Porter
out.
Jr. though is a key part of the
He's
Bulls,
nice,
right?
but he's making too much money for what he does.
And he's
there.
not that good, yeah. So
Yeah.
but he's for sure
He's
a key-
solid everywhere.
But he's
Yeah.
a key part on the Bulls.
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a list of 4 guys that I don't know the difference between any of them. I'm hoping you guys can help.
Are you facially blind?
No, I can spot them out because I play enough 2K.
Are you saying all white people look the same?
No, none of these guys are white.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is these guys all are very similar players, and I'm not sure why the Bulls have so many similar players.
Okay, let's see the evidence.
Blankley.
Oh, Antonio Blakely?
Yep.
Okay.
Wayne Sheldon Jr., my personal favorite of the bunch.
Wayne Selden's still on their team?
Yeah.
Okay.
According to 2K.
All right.
According to 2K.
Yeah.
The updated rosters. Jose Valentin.
That's not his name at all. Denzel Valentine?
Yeah, that's
Jose Valentine?
was
Former
close.
Brewer, former White Sox shortstop?
And
For a second, I was like, wait.
Yeah, Denzel
wait.
Valentine? Are you reading or are you just guessing?
I just wrote last names.
Oh, boy.
Jose Valentine.
You should-
Did they
You
not
write-
have the first initial?
You should write
Man.
first and last names, for sure.
All right, and then the name, I'll never forget this name because I still thought it was a white guy, is Chandler Hutchinson.
Chandler Hutchinson.
He just got drafted last year.
I'll say Chandler Hutchinson exactly. By Bull standards, he's in the middle of the pack in terms of value.
But do you
supposed to be a
differentiate
shooter,
any of
I
those
don't know.
guys? Because they're all supposed to be shooters.
Well,
they're all
you
supposed
also-
to be offensive players.
And we're gonna not. I mean, if you're gonna dive that deep into the garbage bin, I'm gonna mention the Bulls re-signed Ryan Arcidiacono to a fully guaranteed multi-year deal.
He's not as similar as
Deserves
these
it.
guys.
Totally deserves it.
Got that assist in the title game.
Totally deserves it.
Yeah, because he played a few games.
He's earned it. He's earned
He
it.
started a few games.
Definitely.
Is that all it takes for a multi-year deal there?
On the Bulls
yeah.
currently, yes.
On the Bulls, yeah.
And I think Jerry Reinsdorf has to like you. That's
No,
pretty-
they're trying to do what they did with the Sox, where they sign guys before they're good.
Okay.
And they
And
sign
they
the
just
real
never
long
get good.
deals. Yeah.
just like Jabari Parker.
At
Yikes.
least they
Too
got
soon.
his contract off.
Yeah, that's true. They got. I mean, it didn't hurt him. It was a 1-year deal
It's
essentially.
crazy.
Anyways.
It's crazy. They gave him $20 million a year, and by December they said he was out of the rotation.
So that was worth $20 million. We're good.
Hey, Johnny, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Is Benny the bus bull?
Is what now?
Benny.
The best, yeah.
Yeah.
He's,
Like the best
He's the best
bull?
bull.
he's the best bull.
Yeah.
who would be other Bulls in your rankings?
I'm just saying,
who's the second
Benny
best?
the Bull is the main attraction when you go to the United
Yeah,
Center.
Lauri Markkanen's the second.
Oh, okay. Like on the Bulls, Benny
Yeah.
is your number one like value.
Yeah, he's
They
selling
could be-
more tickets.
He's on the team. He's got
Yeah.
a jersey.
Yeah.
Of course he's on the team.
I could definitely make
guy.
a pretty convincing argument.
Is
for
it Rocky
Benny
D.
the Bull.
Rose's number?
It's,
Yeah.
I think he's number one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's no way.
I'm like 99% sure.
No, D-Rose jersey's already retired.
It's not.
It's not.
It's
I don't see
100%
it
not.
there.
Nope. We went to
In
a game-
Inglewood.
We went to a game at the UC last year. Derek's jersey was not retired.
I looked.
Yeah.
I looked all the way up in the rafters.
It's retired for me.
Well, okay, that's fine.
By the way, UC is a scary place.
It is extremely dark, actually.
Ah.
Yeah, the UC not well lit, and it's way too big.
Does it spook you when they do the
No, I knew that was coming.
Oh.
Hey, but in the videos I was talking about
And
earlier,
now.
where they show the 96 Bulls, they have the whole thing, and that, boy, do those graphics age well. They still look fantastic.
Oh, like the MS Paint designed city of
Yeah,
Chicago?
the city of Chicago that somebody drew on their
great.
kitchen table.
The 8-bit version of Chicago.
Yep.
It's really good. Man, this Bulls team, I'm sorry, like...
This is the Bulls team. We've spent too much time on the Bulls team. What else can we do?
I know.
Who's
but
We
I'm
spent
not, like,
time on the Cavs and the Bulls.
Hey,
I
who's
got-
playing center after Wendell Carter Jr.?
Cristiano Fellatio.
Who cares? Who
The
cares?
big
Nobody
boy.
worthwhile. Luke Cornett, probably.
Oh, yeah.
But my thing, like...
Is he related to Jim Cornette?
Like, no. Chris Dunn, like, probably a bust,
Yeah, he
right?
is.
Like, it's over.
Yeah.
Lauri Markkanen, what is his actual ceiling?
Who knows?
Can Lauri be a
Being hurt.
superstar?
Being hurt.
Can Lauri Markkanen still be the second best player on
I
a
could see him
championship team?
maybe with the East, maybe making All-Star like next year.
If he could stay healthy, I
He's
still
solid.
feel like the
He
sky's
averages
the
over
limit.
20,
But,
I think.
I just don't believe in his ability to stay healthy.
Wendell Carter Jr., same thing.
Yep.
Pretty much the same story. Zach LaVine, staying healthy is a huge issue with him as well. Like, that's kind of
And
been glossed
the
over.
Bulls have a horrible training staff.
The Bulls' track record in terms of injuries and recovery from injuries
Well,
is
that was also
piss poor.
Thibodeau running people into the ground, but it sounds
Yeah.
like Boylan's the same way. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boylan might be worse.
They brought back, it's Baby Tibbs.
Yeah.
That's all he is Baby Tibbs. Like, they love that style so much, they're like, what if we ran it back? Like, Fred was a fucking pussy. We need a real man in the chair again. Like, it feels like such an overcorrection. And I don't know how a team is going to react to having Jim Boylan screaming at them for a whole season.
42, yeah. Or
I don't know.
82 games.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work.
Well,
Like,
it worked for 78 games.
no,
77.
Hoiberg made it longer than 5 games.
Oh, I thought. Oh, who are we
First
talking
15.
about? Oh, we were
Ty
talking
Lue got
Ty Lue.
fired after 6. Hoiberg
Boylan,
made,
Hoiberg made it like a month
made
or two.
Made it to like December, I think. Yeah, but no, it
Wake
was.
me up when December ends.
But yeah, I mean, and then Johnny, I mean, you're, as the resident Bulls fan, like, what's the plan? What's the Bulls?
What you got shaking?
What are the Bulls like? What do the Bulls need? Like, when you like, how do you even begin to assemble the Bulls in a way that makes them relevant in the near future?
The Bulls need to get lucky and get a 1 or 2 pick. That's all they got. That's
right,
that's
a
the plan
solid-
for the Bulls.
That's a solid plan.
I would say that that's a terrible plan, but that is essentially what the Bulls' actual plan has been ever since Michael Jordan retired.
It worked. They got Derek.
Yeah. If you take Jordan off the Bulls, like their history is non-existent.
No,
What is their biggest move since Jordan left the Bulls? Like,
drafting Derrick
Johnny
Rose.
Rose.
Yeah,
but like trade move.
Oh, none. Nothing to speak
Johnny
of.
Fish Sticks.
Yeah, getting rid of John Salmons. What about that Carlos?
That can't be your best trade.
What about that Carlos Boozer signing?
What
That's
about that
horrible.
Joakim Noah trade?
What trade was that? What? I
At
don't
least
even,
they didn't pay him like New York.
that's could have been worse. Could have been worse. Like
Oh Jesus!
I'm sorry, guys. That's enough time on the Bulls.
All right.
We need a break after that.
Yeah, let's-
the Bulls is such a downer note.
All right.
I just don't want to talk about them
Can we
anymore.
go back to the?
We're gonna go bash our heads into the wall for a half hour. We'll be back.
Can we
So
go to
we'll
the
be back on
Tyrese
the other
Thomas
side.
days?
We'll be back on the other side, starting
No.
off with the Pistons, Pacers, and then finishing up with the Bucks. And we're back from the break after breaking down the Cavs and the Bulls, our 2 presumed bottom feeders of the Central Division. So we're back with the third place team from last year and our first entry that was a playoff team last season, the Detroit Pistons.
Hey.
The Pistons finished 41-41 last year.
Solid.
In true Eastern Conference fashion. That was good enough for the 8th seed. Where they were promptly dispatched by the Bucks in a 4-0 series sweep, in which none of the games were really particularly close.
That one game
Griffin.
where Blake came back.
The game, there was the one when
They
Blake
kept it close for 2.5 quarters.
Yep, they for sure did. But that was as good as it got for him. Blake was banged up. He was walking around with that giant leg cast, looked
He
like
was still the
Frankenstein.
best player up for him out there.
He looked like Stone Cold with that knee brace.
Yeah, it was a lot. They were overmatched. Dwayne Casey, I thought, did a pretty admirable job his first year as the head coach in Detroit, though.
He's a good coach.
I think they did add a few decent pieces.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, I'm a little bit of a homer for Big Tony Snell.
Oh, I think Tony Snell move was nice to get pick number 30 attached to him
Snellinator.
Especially on a team with no money, like it made a lot of sense. Not exactly a hot free agency destination though. I'd say their marquee signing was Derrick Rose.
Woo.
Yeah,
And they got Morris.
They
Amore.
have a Morris, Tony Snell, as we mentioned. Other than that,
Can you say the other guy's name?
Svi Mikhailiuk.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they got Svi,
And they got Tim Frazier.
and Tim.
Dude, did you see
and
the
former Buck Tim Frazier?
Did you see the stat? I think you pointed out to me about Tim Frazier that he played, or maybe I saw it on Twitter, that he played 2 games of more than 40 minutes, and Giannis had 1.
Yeah, well, Tim Frazier played all of the
He
minutes
played
in 2 different games.
Yeah.
He played a 53-minute game where he played a game where it was in overtime, and he played every single minute, including the entire overtime. He never came out. And the Bucks played a 2-3 zone on defense also, and it was a zone, but like they didn't move. It was basically like if you set up like what a zone looks like on the chalkboard, the Bucks just stood in those places and just kind of let the Hawks shoot if they wanted to. It was like whatever. It was such a weird game, but that was the Tim Frazier game for sure. Other key players for the Pistons, I would say, are probably Andre Drummond, obviously.
Blake Griffin. I mean,
Blake Griffin is the
Reggie
key player.
Jackson?
Reggie Jackson would have been the next
Jackson
one.
Sucks.
What about what about their draft pick, Sekou Doumbouya?
Sekou Doumbouya, I don't think that he's a guy that you can count on for any production this season. I think he's a project guy.
But I think he's going to play.
He'll play, for sure. He's a power forward, so that'll help. But he's going to be extremely raw.
2K had him listed as a 3, so, I mean...
I like the pick. I like the Doumbouya pick, but I just don't think it's a guy that you're expecting much from this season. I don't know.
All right.
Luke Kennard, perhaps, I'd say. One of the only Pistons
He played solid last year.
Yep, one of the only Pistons that showed up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
All right. I got a couple questions.
Sure.
All right. First of which, could they be the worst, or could they be the furthest away that any playoff team is? Like last year playoff team.
Like, furthest
What do you
away from
mean?
what?
A championship.
Well, since they were the 8th seed,
Well,
I would assume.
if we're talking furthest away from a title of any playoff team in the East last year, I'd probably, even though they just won it, I'd probably say Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Magic are definitely in the conversation, too.
Yeah. The Magic. Oh,
Good
God.
thing the Hornets didn't make it. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're literally
they'll be the
the
worst
worst
team in the
team.
league.
Yes. I think it won't be close.
The,
They'll be lucky to break 10 games.
For sure.
Dead serious. They have no
They're
one.
god awful.
I would say
Scary Terry boy.
Boy.
the Magic and the Pistons also have something in common, too, is that they maxed out their salary for teams that got knocked out in the first round pretty easily. Neither of them have any cap flexibility. They're both basically in basketball hell. Like, I don't know what my first question for them is, what now? Like, that's what I wrote down. It's like, what do you do? Like, if you're the Pistons, where do you go from here? Like,
Where do we go from here?
You saw what your ceiling is last year. Like, maybe Blake wins a game or 2 in the first round if he's healthy. That's it, though.
You can't be your best player on a championship team.
Not even close. Like,
Well, Derrick Rose about to drop 25 a game.
it's gonna be a lot of Derrick.
Gonna have that one game where he gets 50 again.
What a day that'll be, though.
gonna
People will be crying. It'll
Yeah.
be really emotional.
Kids will be weeping in the streets.
Like,
but is this what NBA hell is? Like making the playoffs? Like is this
Where the Bucks were for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Making 8 seed, you're not in the lottery, and you're no chance at getting number 1, but you're not,
Nope.
or you're getting bounced 4
And
or
you
5
have
games in the playoffs.
all
every
your
year.
money locked up?
Yeah.
The Bucks that weren't in like cap trouble. They weren't as bad as the Pistons are, though.
not. I mean,
Cole didn't want to spend any money though.
Yeah, for sure.
The Bucks were the Bucks.
Pistons got an arena to fill.
Yeah, the
That
Bucks would
sucks.
never, ever, ever have approached the luxury tax with Herb Cole as their owner.
No.
That because it was his money. Like Herb was never going to let that happen.
It's almost what Michael Jordan does. I don't know how he's so rich, but he wouldn't even give Kemba the Supermax or.
They didn't even offer it.
Uh,
So I mean, good for the
he
Hornets.
doesn't know how to run a team.
They'll have a fun season.
No,
I'm
it's
sure.
okay. Let your best player of your franchise ever
Of all time.
probably walk. Yeah, probably walk.
Yeah, I just
And then, all right,
What
I
if,
got
like-
something for you guys.
okay.
Do you think they should just blow it up? Like
Yeah.
Yes.
you trade Blake.
Yeah.
Like you trade you trade Drummond. Like you trade everything.
Yeah, that's
That's what you have to do, right? Like,
Unless
but
you
why
try
are
to
you going
trade-
out and signing Derrick Rose?
unless
Like,
you try to trade like Drummond and somebody else and try to like get a star player and throw a pick in there or something like that. But
are they just worried, legit, like because they have a new arena and they have to like sell tickets and they don't want to have like an empty new arena? Like, is that why they got Blake? Because Blake's a name and Blake's a huge name, whether like he's playing well or not. Like, Blake's one of the biggest names in the NBA, even if he's not one of the best players.
Agreed.
Like, Blake's a bigger name than Chris Paul. Chris Paul. Then like James Harden, I think Blake's still a bigger name.
What? You're crazy.
No way.
You really think so?
Then James Harden?
Yeah. I think Blake Griffin is like a
maybe like 2012, 2013.
No, but I just think a lot of people are like familiar with him because like the dunk contest and like Blake's so personable
Harden's MVP.
and he's like
Yeah, what are you talking about?
He's got the beard.
I know, but I just really think that like
Blake doesn't have a cool nickname.
yeah, he does. It's Blake.
That's not a cool nickname. No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
I just think Blake's like Hollywood guy who's in LA. I just feel like Blake's more out there than like James Harden is more like reserved and doesn't really do a lot.
I was on board with your overall premise until you used James Harden as an example.
I know what you're saying, but
Yeah.
you said it the wrong way.
I went off the deep end, maybe.
Yeah,
but
I get what you were going for.
Harden is a signature sneaker. Like,
Yeah, Harden is a big deal. James Harden is one of like the top 5 people in the NBA right now.
all right,
Like he's a huge deal. Blake is not, but
Blake's 6.
Blake does. I think
I feel like he does not get enough credit for how much he's evolved his game since he came into the league when he was just
Yes.
dunking, and now he's like shooting step back threes through the legs and everything.
But not very well.
he can do it pretty.
yeah,
He's a better.
that's-
I think what's more impressive is his ability to like ball handle
Yeah, the
and
ball handling,
distribute
too.
and like start the off. Like
Run the break.
Point Blake is one of my favorite Blakes.
Yeah,
yeah. Point Blake is best Blake. I think.
it's just he's always hurt when you need him the most.
Yeah.
He-
And I don't know how well him and Drummond fit together, and I don't really know how this team gets. But I don't know where like
The Twin Towers doesn't work. It's never worked.
Whoa, that's my favorite thing. I
not-
love the Twin Towers.
terrible.
in today's NBA.
We
absolutely
watched that
can't.
Bulls game
If it's not
last
going to
night.
work with Boogie and AD, it's never going to work.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, it almost did though.
They scraped into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they looked good when they were in the playoffs.
Didn't they get swept?
Boogie
by Golden
wasn't
State?
in.
And then Boogie got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, but Boogie didn't play in the playoffs with them.
Yeah, they still did look good though. So I'm saying if you would have had Boogie, they probably would have been better.
All right, yeah.
Probably
all right.
better.
I was like,
Process.
all right, okay. Anyway, let me
Minus 2, take away 3.
shuffle some papers over here real quick.
On to the next team.
Anything else about the Pistons, man? Like, I feel like they're in hell. They basically have to try to determine, like, are they trying to win games or not? What is Dwayne Casey supposed to do this year? I think he's in a tough spot. Like, he has to like balance like winning now or developing for the future. And as a coach, you're always winning now.
Yeah, I know you want to win now for their job, but I mean, I think nobody expects them to win this year. Nobody expects them to win next year or the year after that. So they might as well just blow it up and try to get the contracts off.
Yeah, I feel like if you're that front office, you have to just kind of do that and then
Cut your losses.
Yeah, you give the coach that directive then. Make the roster indicate that he has to play young guys.
Yep.
Don't have all these vets there.
Guys are crazy. Derrick Rose dropping 25 a night, and they're going to be top in the division.
You heard it. Oh, so you have Pistons first place in the Central. We have our first deviation.
Derrick Rose winning MVP.
Derrick Rose
the
is going to win
second time.
his second MVP, like 8
He's
years
going to drop,
after his
he's gonna
first.
drop 25 and 15.
Derrick Rose is the only
15
player
what?
in NBA history that's
15 blocks.
That's going to win an MVP. That won an MVP and will not be a Hall of Famer.
I still think he'll be a Hall of Famer.
I don't know. I don't.
I don't
Why?
think
He had a really good three-year span in Chicago, but after he got hurt,
Is Gilbert Arenas a Hall of Famer?
No.
Like, you know,
I love Gil, but no.
like that's. I feel like that's kind of the case study, maybe, or at least close. Anyways,
Derek
moving on.
never got involved in gunplay though.
That's true. That is true.
It was just sex toys.
Yeah, that someone didn't pay for, apparently.
Derek.
So moving on from the future Central Division champion Pistons, evidently. Second place last season were the Indiana Pacers. Pacers went 48-34. They were coached by Nate McMillan, who I thought did a great job with an undermanned team a lot of that season. They played hard. Lost a bunch of close games in a first-round sweep against Boston. That series was straight out of like the 1990s.
Yeah, a lot of 70-point, mid-80 games.
Yep. I remember the one game where it was like Boston won like 82 to like 76 or
It was
something.
like 62 to like 60 going into the third or fourth.
Yep. I was like, this is some old-timey basketball right here. This is mucking it up. And honestly, if there was like one series like that every year in the first round, I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a nice, like, you know, just a different experience.
Throwback to
different
the
game.
Grizzlies.
Yeah, it was grit and grind.
Grindhouse.
It was a series of grit and grind, for sure.
Grit and grind.
But
Grit
obviously,
grinders.
one of the biggest stories last year for the Pacers was the loss of Victor Oladipo. Dramatically limited their ceiling as a team, and his loss was felt pretty much from the get-go. And I think the hope for this season is that you get a healthy Oladipo back at some point. Because, they drafted Goga Bitadze, the center from Georgia, with pick number 18. They did have a very nice free agency. They acquired Malcolm Brogdon, the restricted free agent from Milwaukee. They also signed Jeremy.
Sad.
Very sad.
Very sad.
They also signed Jeremy Lamb and acquired T.J. Warren basically for nothing, just for absorbing the salary from Phoenix. So their key departures: Darren Collison became a Jehovah's Witness.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
he did.
Darren Collison became a Jehovah's Witness and
Yep.
retired.
Wait,
that is true.
That's true.
This is an actual
I read the
I
article.
didn't know that.
Yep.
I read the
I
article.
didn't know it was because
Yep.
of that.
Darren Collison said he no longer needs to play basketball because he has a larger thing to glorify in his
No,
life.
because he has. Yes, I
Higher
forgot.
calling,
Yeah,
or something like that. But yeah,
something that leaves him feeling more fulfilled.
Yep. So he was set to make, I believe, 10 million, 12 million, something like that.
But
next
Jehovah
year.
Christ will.
So
He'll heal my pain.
So yep, Darren Collison retired, and Tyreek Evans got basically kicked out of the NBA.
Yeah.
Got the old
He got the
2-year
OJ
ban.
Mayo.
The OJ Mayo.
Got the special OJ Mayo suspension, and Bogdan Bogdanovic bolted for Utah.
That was a big loss.
So I was gonna say it was. I mean,
I think Tyreek was a bigger loss.
then Bogdanovic? No way.
Tyreek had a great year.
Bogdanovic was super
He was their
important.
second
for that
best.
team.
Well, he was their best player after Oladipo got hurt.
Yeah, he was one of the only people that could score.
Yeah.
Yeah, that offense looked terrible in the playoffs.
I think Brogdon will replace that and then some, though. I think they'll be
Yeah.
fine. Jeremy Lamb, I still have hope for as a rotational player at least.
Yeah.
Since that's what he'll be there. I don't think he'll be a starter.
He'll have a couple of good games, and then
Yep.
I thought he was going to be better out of college.
And T.J. Warren, I think there's still hope.
Did anyone realize they have 3 TJs on the team?
That's true. They
Yep.
have T.J. Warren, T.J. Leaf, and the recently signed T.J. McCullough.
Are they gonna during
From
practice
Cental,
and in the locker room? Are they just gonna call each other TJ, or are they gonna come up with nicknames? You
They're
can't-
going to go by their government names.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, they have the Holiday Bros.
They do now have Aaron and Justin Holiday.
Wow, impressive.
Neither one of the
The
good
not good
ones.
ones.
Yeah.
They have
Aaron might be okay.
and featuring the other holidays. I think that's kind of another thing too with the Pacers' draft success has been kind of a mixed bag. In consecutive years, they drafted T.J. Leaf and that Aaron Holiday. Those were both first-round picks, and at this point, they both look like basically nothings.
Yeah.
So that has kind of hurt them in terms of filling out a deep team. But Miles Turner and Domantas Sabonis, I think, have proven themselves to be extremely formidable young front court.
Does Sabonis get to start this year, you think?
I don't see any Thad Young is gone, so I
Yeah.
don't see any reason that he wouldn't.
I think he has to.
Yeah,
So who's going to start when they're all healthy? Brogdon, Oladipo, Turner.
And who do we just Sabonis and
who's the 3?
TJ Warren?
Maybe.
What about
Jeremy
Myers Leonard?
Maybe Jeremy
Or
Lamb.
not Myers
Miles
Leonard.
Turner?
Miles Turner.
He'll start at the 5.
He's
He's starting.
Yeah, we're talking about the 3.
I'm trying to figure out who their 3 is though.
Who's the guy they drafted?
He's a center. Goga Batidze would not
Okay.
would not fill that hole. Like I said, it's going to be probably Jeremy
TJ
Lamb.
McConnell.
It's going to be Jeremy Lamb or TJ Warren.
What about TJ McConnell?
That's
Oh, what's that?
that's probably what it is,
Be
right?
another good defensive team, though.
They are. They're going to be a really good defensive team.
They really just need a 3-and-D guy.
Yeah, I mean,
With that team.
Trade for Snell.
Or my thing, I think they could use a real point guard. I don't like.
I like
Brogdon.
I like Brogdon as a point.
Yeah, I do too.
Who else though? Who's their other point guard?
Oladipo.
One of the Holidays is a point guard, right?
Yeah, one of the Holidays. Aaron Holiday's a point guard.
Though. Aaron Holiday cannot play minutes for you in the playoffs.
Justin Holiday's not terrible.
Oladipo
Justin Holiday's also a 2.
But hold on,
He can bring up the ball.
Oladipo or Brogdon should always be in your lineup.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it shouldn't be an issue, in my opinion.
I guess, but I mean,
Or you sign a guy like end of the bench guy that like you sign a guy that's just going to come in and play okay and shoot threes, and that's all you really need. Like
I think it's a big ask to expect Oladipo and Brogdon to both be like healthy the whole year.
Get JJ Barea.
Those are both a couple guys that have
solid.
DJ Augustine.
DJ Augustine's still under contract in Orlando.
Yeah.
Beno Udrih.
There you go.
No. Nobody wants Beno. Absolutely not. No, thank you. Also,
they got TJ McConnell. What are you talking about?
They do have TJ McConnell.
TJ McConnell could play point guard.
Serviceable backup.
Yeah, for sure.
He absolutely is. You're right. No, it's a good point.
TJ McConnell. I really like what TJ McConnell brings. He's flashy.
Tough. He's
but
tough though.
He does all the. He's like Delanova, but better and not as grindy.
Yeah,
And shoot better.
Yep.
And he doesn't start his jump shot at the floor.
One of my big things with them, though, is we don't really know the timetable for Victor Oladipo. I don't think we expect him to start the season.
I think they can stay competitive until he comes back, probably by
They did last year, so why wouldn't they this year?
Yeah.
I think they'll be
As
fine.
long as Brogdon doesn't get hurt while they're waiting on Vic, I think they'll be all right. And then when they get Vic back, as long as they make the playoffs, they'll be able to win the first round out at least.
I think they're a better playoff team than a regular season team this year.
Yeah.
I think that they are a team that will, like you said.
I only think that because Oladipo's out.
Precisely. But they'll be, like we said, they'll be good enough while he's out. And then when he comes back, it's going to take a little bit of time because it's a different team now as well anyway.
Got to fit himself back
Exactly. So, like, he's been gone for the entire season up till that point. So then there'll be a bit of an adjustment process. The rotation will have to get smoothed out. They'll have to figure that out a little bit. But by the time the playoffs roll around, I think they'll basically be the peak version of themselves. And I think that's going to be a team you absolutely don't want to see in a second-round playoff series.
Yeah. Ooh, no.
I still think they could get 3 seed in the East potentially with how weak the East is.
They could be a 2.
Over Philly?
Better than the Bucks or Philly?
No, I think the Bucks are my number 1, but I think they could be better than Philly or Boston.
In the regular season?
Yeah, why not?
I don't see it.
If they had Oladipo, maybe.
What if Oladipo comes back after the All-Star break?
That's not enough. That's not enough time. That's
I think
February. You've already played 55 games at that point.
I'd give you if Oladipo was in the whole year.
But
they
I think
may be able to get that 2
I
seed.
think Brogdon's better than Bogdanovich.
For sure. Well, I agree.
And I think Connell and
McConnell, he can.
And Collison are fairly comparable. Like
I'd
they
say
do
they
different
improved.
things, but they're both. Well, they improved, but they won't fully improve until Oladipo's back. But they're still. If you take away Oladipo from last year's team versus this year's team, I still think they're slightly better. I think Brogdon's a better player.
Oh, without Oladipo.
The Oladipo-less version of the team?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's better than last year's Oladipo list.
Because that team, eventually without him, they did suffer. Like, I remember they started out pretty hot, but then, like, the last couple months of the year, I think it was like 10-18 or something. So, like, they kind of faded without him.
So that's how was the whole playoffs. That they'd jump out to a lead, and then they didn't know what they were doing on offense.
Or they had to go to their bench,
Yeah.
which was basically non-existent because of how, you're bumping everybody up with all the injuries.
Didn't have enough buckets.
So,
and had nobody to get those buckets.
Like I said, I think they could be the 3 seed, and I think that's pretty high praise. I think that you're beating out like Boston and Brooklyn.
So I could see between 3 and 5.
Yeah, that's where I have. That's kind of what I have in mind. I think 3 through 5, more likely 4 or 5.
I think you're right about 2, but if they had Oladipo, I'd give them the second seed.
I think there's a shot. I think it's as good a shot as any.
A long shot, I'd say,
I think it's. Who knows?
Shot at Russell Westbrook, another player that left him and got better.
Yeah,
I guess
the Pacers' range of outcomes
Rockets will be interesting
in terms of the playoffs. Like the Pacers could go anywhere from first round and out to
Eastern Conference Finals.
Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe I can see it.
Yeah,
they could win it all. They could.
If they got lucky.
like a lot would have to
all
break.
the
I'm
dominoes
just,
fall away.
you know what? I'm not saying no to anyone anymore after the Raptors last year.
You can't just think, it doesn't mean you can say yes to everyone.
I got
Phoenix.
you. Phoenix. No, there's teams I can say no to, but if I think they can make the Eastern Conference Finals, I have to say you could win it all.
So are the Pacers the first team in your clump?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll mark that. We'll make a note. We have Gonzo. They're in his group of maybes.
Yeah.
Teams that could win it all. He has the Pacers.
Maybe.
Nobody else has anyone though.
Because of the East, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I think that's the Pacers will be a fun watch. Like, and the Oladipo question is huge, but it's safe to assume he'll play at some point. And like I said, come May, they'll be a fun team. Moving on, finally, to last year's first place finisher, the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks went 60-22 in Coach Mike Budenholzer's first season. They advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they won the first 2 games before losing 4 straight to fall to the eventual champion Raptors 4-2.
Bucks and 6.
Bucks and 6 was
For the culture.
It was for the culture, but it was not for the reality, unfortunately. Not a sterling offseason for the Bucks necessarily. They had no draft picks. The one that they had, they traded with Tony Snell in order to shed salary for the 2020 season.
But they didn't do anything.
They opened up nothing because they still acquired John Lewis, so it didn't open up any cap for this offseason.
Did they stretch him?
Not yet, which is weird. So they haven't even done that. But there's no like at this point, why?
Yeah.
Who cares? Like your team's in place, I guess. Whatever. So yeah, nothing there. Free agency was mostly, and rightfully so, I get it, a matter of retaining their own guys.
Running back.
Chris Middleton got a staggering 4-year, $178 million contract. Brook Lopez got 4 years, $52 million. George Hill got a 3-year, $29 million deal. And then the Bucks also did a little bargain bin shopping. They did some of their best work there, as they tend to, with the additions of Wesley Matthews, Robin Lopez to join his brother Brook, Kyle Korver recently signed, and then the, we'll say, interesting signing of Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Just giving Giannis's brother a job for a couple of years.
So now they have 2 brothers, 2 sets of brothers.
2 sets, yeah. They have
on the team.
The Antetokounmpos and then the Bropezes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It really makes you think.
I'm really upset that they didn't get JR. I'm just going to put that out there right now.
you
I'm
know,
glad we got Korver, though.
yeah,
I know,
would
but
say-
JR could have helped, too. You can have them both.
But I mean, no, we had to sign Thanasis. Didn't you hear me say that?
Hey, we got to keep Giannis here.
Yeah, which is why the Lakers just claimed Kostas. Suppose that's the new story.
I got to see where Alex
Alex
goes.
gets drafted in 2021.
I wanted to
That's
say
what
Alexis. It felt right.
Giannis is a free agent in 2021. The year that Alex would get, just saying. But yeah, as we kind of mentioned earlier, the key departures for the Bucks: Malcolm Brogdon, restricted free agent, who they did not match a 4-year, $84 million deal on. That one was a gut
We
punch.
did get picks back, though. I was happy we got.
Well, how many picks?
We got a first
and
rounder
a second,
two,
I believe,
two
or
second
something.
rounders,
Yeah.
I think.
So
Right,
I mean,
that's fine, I
Pacers
guess.
Better than
first.
nothing.
Yeah, Pacers first isn't
Better than
crazy
kicking the
exciting,
dick.
but yeah, it's better than nothing by definition.
But
With all the no picks.
I don't know
we
if you guys have paid attention, but Bucks Twitter is shitting pretty hard on Brogdon. I'm pretty upset with Bucks
Yeah, I don't
Twitter.
know
I thought
why.
they'd be a little bit more mature about the situation, but they're really shitting on him. He can't play defense. He's has no position in the NBA, and all these.
They said that?
They said he can't. He's not a good shooter. He's not a good defender.
Outta
Like
here.
So 50, 40, 90 guy is not good enough. All right.
Yeah.
give me you're not good enough.
Well, like I said too, when we were talking about it earlier, I said he basically is the definition of what you would want from a second round pick.
Yeah.
He won Rookie of the Year. He worked himself into a borderline max level guy, and is like a great presence. Good, like a good
High
vet
basketball
already.
IQ.
Yep. And like is great in the
Hey, you
coach's
can only
role.
say, you can only say that
Smart,
about white
like-
guys.
like smart-
high basketball
oh.
IQ. Come on.
That's like a really thoughtful.
No, you
human.
call them crafty.
Yeah.
Instead of
Jim Rat.
athletic.
Yeah. But like Brogdon is just like a thoughtful person, always gives a good account for himself, great representative of your organization.
Prez.
And now people are like ripping him on the way out.
I
It's
think
just-
he's like one of the smartest guys the Bucks had in that locker room, and
Yeah, for sure.
it just sucks that I don't know. I would have rather spent that money differently, but it's just
I've said this. I don't know. Maybe within the group of Bucks fans that I know, this has not been like an unpopular opinion. I would have rather signed Brogdon for $484 than Chris for the $4,170.
I agree.
But
I'm
why
with you
did
on
you?
that.
But couldn't you have signed hypothetically Brogdon and Middleton and not re-signed Bledsoe during the season?
Yeah, that's
That
hindsight. Yeah,
that has aged poorly.
Yeah.
But why? I don't know why they did that.
I was happy when they signed it because I was like, oh, I thought he was going to get a bigger contract. Like, it's not that bad. I mean, to the point where if we have to trade him, it's like an unmovable contract. But now after Brogdon left, I'm like, yeah, we could have kept him instead.
That's what I saw all along, though. I'm like, oh, so they're not going to get Brogdon or Middleton. Like, somebody's going to get left out. I thought Brooke would get left out too. I didn't see Nico leaving the country, but
the Bucks. I mean, like I said, the Bucks offseason's not a total disaster.
Yeah.
I don't think that
it's not.
It hasn't been like,
but it's a negative for me.
The Brogdon thing hurt a ton at the time, but I think the moves that they've made,
we got,
it's helped. It's certainly. It has
I think
helped.
Brogdon's was their second best player, though.
At times.
Yeah, I always argued I'd rather re-sign him over Chris because he's going to be cheaper. He's younger. He only averaged like 3 points fewer per game, and if he would have been the number 2 option next year as opposed to third or fourth, he probably could have averaged over 20.
And Middleton's defense is starting to go a little bit. Like, that used to be like, well, Middleton's a good defender, and now it's like...
He's a solid defender, but he's not...
Not what he was. He's not guarding KD.
We saw in the playoffs.
Like, he was getting cooked.
Yep, yeah. I was like, Kawhi. If Kawhi was having his way with him, like, he's not that guy. He's not going to stop Kevin Durant. He's not going to, he's not good enough.
I think the Bucks really messed up this offseason. This is the year where the East is wide open. You're the best team in the leagues record-wise last year. You put somebody next to Giannis. You need a big 2. Everybody's got a big 2. Chris Middleton really isn't that big second guy.
Attract to Milwaukee,
yeah, you're not going to.
Right now is the time because you got Giannis on the team. You can get somebody with a 2-year contract playing with Giannis.
Name the last player they signed.
They never had Giannis before. They never had the MVP. Besides, yes, they did. A long time ago.
Even back then, they didn't though. Like they had Michael Redd was pretty good, but they had Ray Allen, and they couldn't really.
I mean, Ray Allen wasn't MVP.
That's true. He wasn't, but he was still really good. Like,
I think anybody would jump at the.
I don't,
not jump at it, but you could get a guy. This is the year. I
always vouched for it, and I knew it was never going to happen. But I said, let Chris walk and whoever, and sign Kawhi, because LeBron or Giannis and Kawhi in the East, nobody's going to beat him over 5 years. That's like 5 straight finals.
That would be disgusting.
They had to do
even
something.
Lower if you could have went and got D'Lo. But I just don't think. I don't think the Bucks could have done it. I just don't.
I think the Bucks.
Because I would have been happy if my dream were to happen. I'm okay with Brook. It's a little bit overpaid, but I'm okay if he can continue this, which he'll probably dip off a little bit, but maybe having his brother around will help. But, I would have been perfectly fine if they let Bledsoe and Middleton walk. Fine, whatever. Yeah. As long as they sign somebody to make up for it.
Okay, I was going to say, you can't just let that walk, though. I was like, hold on, this isn't 2K. You have to have something in place to replace that production. Yeah. That is a huge amount of your offense. You're just just sucking out of there.
That was the thing for we couldn't play around trying to get somebody because then Middleton could have signed somewhere on the first day, and then we're like, well, shit, we can't get anybody.
Yep, because Middleton was unrestricted. Middleton. Yeah, Middleton was unrestricted. So that one they kind of couldn't play around with. Yeah.
So if the Bucks would have made one move, they were probably the team to beat. Now they didn't make any moves, and everybody's just like, the Bucks will maybe have the best record in the year, but they're not going anywhere in the playoffs. Maybe the conference finals, but that's about it.
Is part of this a product of this is as good of a coach as Bud is?
What do you mean?
Is this as good as Bud is? Is Bud going to get better as a coach?
I think he can figure it out.
Okay,
yeah, he'll figure it out
better because he's never had a player as good as Giannis.
For sure, 100% agree.
But I mean, it's not about Bud. They needed one more guy, and they didn't get it. They're going to be fucked next year too. This was the year where you had to get that guy.
I don't think there was enough adjustments in the playoffs.
If he can make some adjustments, I agree. That's why we lost the series.
You were up to you should have at least won. You should have at least won 7. It's crazy to me that you didn't go 7
after they didn't lose more than 2 consecutive games the entire season.
Yeah, come on, man, you got to do something, man. That's why they shouldn't have traded Tony Snell. You'd have been perfect guarding Kawhi.
They couldn't get past that zone. They played zone defense on him. And fucked them up.
They played everybody guard Giannis.
Yeah. I think...
Didn't they pull out a box and one as well?
Yeah.
A little bit. And that's what I think the Korver and Matthews signings are direct, responses to, though. Yeah. Those are both guys in this offense whose role is going to be spot-up shooter.
Yep.
And Wes Matthews is still a dead eye if you give him a spot-up jump shot. Kyle Korver is still a dead eye if you get a spot up jump shot.
Wes Matthews. Is Wes Matthews?
Wesley Snipes.
Does Wes Math start on this team?
I think it makes the most sense for him too. Yes.
Yeah.
It's either that or Squirtson, right?
I think he's the best fit to start at the 2 though with Giannis. I want Wes Matthews' minutes are best served by overlapping with Giannis' minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
So why wouldn't you start him? Kind of like with that. It's not like Pat Connaughton has to start
because
it's not like Sterling Brown has to start.
He could be a good member of the bench. Like who do you have on your bench throwing up a ton of buckets?
That's not how I'm looking at it. I'd rather have Pat Connaughton come off the bench because I like Pat Connaughton as an energy guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
I think he does a good job bringing in the second unit and keeping the Bucks energized and giving a lift to those guys who are still maybe from the starting unit and are a little tired.
And if him and DiVincenzo and
it's a big
if he can stay healthy and make shots, and if DJ Wilson can take that next step, and then Robin Lopez off the bench too, I think the bench can
really
be
good bench big.
Yeah.
Like the Bucks depth. This is one of my big things I have down for the questions with them though. For the Bucks, was last year to an extent lightning in a bottle?
No.
Are a lot of those guys like is George Hill going to play at the same level that he played at last year?
All I kept thinking in the playoffs for George Hill was LeBron's probably like, where was this in the finals last year?
Yeah, for sure. Because George Hill played so much better in the playoffs this past season than 2 years ago.
Hey, you did skip over. What about Bonzi Colson? You didn't talk about him at all.
I said I'm not going to talk about two-way guys.
Another name
I made very, very clear that I wasn't going to discuss two-way players.
He'll be on the team.
And Bonzi Colson is a two-way guy. So
He'll be in the suit.
Yeah, exactly. And then
he'll play before Thanasis.
Like what for the Bucks? I think you almost have to look at it already. Like, what does the Bucks playoff rotation look like? Like, what are like the 7 or 8 guys you trust?
So the 5 we said.
Yeah,
Pat Connaughton.
Okay.
Robin Lopez,
Ersan,
George Hill, and Ersan.
Now we're at 9 guys.
Yeah, George Hill and Ersan.
Well, you're gonna have Korver coming in there too to make shots.
Yeah, you got 10 guys.
You can't have it like nobody has a 10-man playoff rotation.
It happens.
That's one of the big.
I think Ersan will probably be.
Pat Connaughton and Ersan won't be in the mix.
Pat Connaughton, I think, is in the mix for sure.
I wish he would have played more in the last against Toronto.
Where's Sterling Brown?
Like he didn't play.
Where's DJ Wilson?
They signed
the Bucks' depth is almost a hindrance to them though in the playoffs. Is what I'm saying. You
no,
like
because you're going to figure out who's good in the regular season and who works.
But we have a coach who's shown himself to be slow to make adjustments. So if we have this like group of 13 players that he has to choose from and like pick the right 8 or 9 on a given night, Bud might be one of the worst people we could have doing those. I think the Bucks roster needs consolidation. I think they need to find a way.
I think they need J. Kidd back.
I don't. But I think they almost need to.
That's Johnny's favorite coach.
Yeah, bring old Joe with his slick back hair, looking good, beating us twice this last season. Getting 2 wins against us with the fucking Phoenix Suns.
Look like a bootleg fucking Jerry Springer.
You know what he always reminded me of? He looked like the mayor on Spin City.
Yeah,
that's what Joe Prunty reminded me of.
Yeah, a lot.
That's a very specific reference from a long time ago. But
he's a pop disciple, so
yeah, that's old Joe.
All right, so I got a couple other points. Are we done with the Bucks?
I mean, like I said, like can Giannis get better? Is I think another one of the biggest questions for the Bucks.
He's one of the hardest workers in the league.
Yeah, he could develop a better jump shot.
He got better after.
He's working with Kyle Korver this offseason.
I know. Well, that's
what LeBron did to get better.
Yeah, he got Kyle Korver to come to Milwaukee too to teach him in person. So I mean, it's good. And then I guess finally, ultimately, can the Bucks win it all?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, just like the Pacers could.
Yeah, if you're saying the Pacers can,
exactly. Yeah,
put the Bucks in there.
The Bucks will be the first in my pile where I say yes. Yeah.
I say no. I don't think they can win the finals. I think ceiling is Eastern Conference Finals.
You don't think they can make the finals?
No.
Who's the team they can't beat?
Who's the team they get stuck on?
Who can they not beat in the East?
Everybody in the East got worse, including the Bucks.
I think the Celtics and Sixers are actually going to be better. It sounds crazy, but I think they're actually going to be better.
We argued last week. I agree that the Celtics could be better because Kemba fits the scheme better than Kyrie.
Their Cantor is much worse than Horford.
Yeah.
And their bench is worse. They lost Terry Rozier, and I mean, unless Gordon Hayward goes back to Utah, Gordon Hayward.
Maybe he does though. Another year removed from a broken leg. Like it was kind of like Paul George. Like had a better year than he did last year. Like off a broken leg. Like, I don't know how these things work.
I mean, the Sixers, you pick up Al Horford. I don't think the loss of Jimmy Butler is that big of a deal. You only
Another locker room cancer.
And it was still 20-plus points a game.
It was, but
plus
some
good defense.
Great wing defender. Yeah.
He did carry him in the
I think
playoffs.
that 20 points.
Their best playmaker.
Arguably, again, for them, one of the only people that showed up in the playoffs, actually.
And they lost their best shooter, and they don't
JJ.
have any shooters.
No, they got what's his face? Who's taking JJ's spot? Shooting
Zaire
guard?
Smith.
No, Richardson. Yeah,
Josh Richardson, not the same
Richardson.
player.
And they lost.
no, not the same
McConnell
player,
off the
but I
bench.
think he's a good fit on that team.
He's not a very good shooter, though.
Yeah.
He's an okay shooter. He
No,
plays defense.
I'd rather have JJ Redick
Josh
over him.
Richardson-
Well, yeah, I'd have JJ Redick. He's one
Josh
of the best
Richardson's
shooters
like
in
a
the league.
34% three-point shooter.
I like him at that spot. He is going to play better defense than JJ.
I love Josh Richardson. I don't think it's a good fit.
And then their bench, there's nobody to mention besides maybe Mike Scott.
Yeah.
No, we don't mention Mike Scott and his shitty tattoos.
Emoji man.
They lost T.J. McConnell, which is
Yeah.
genuinely a loss.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like.
I mean, I think you're underestimating the development of Simmons and Embiid.
I don't.
Embiid stays healthy.
Let Simmons hit 1-3.
Yeah.
Just one.
Yeah,
I just want one.
what developments has Ben Simmons made though since he came into the league?
It's only his second year.
Third year.
This is going to be his
He's going
third
for
year.
rookie of
And
the year
he
again.
was hurt his first
Yeah.
year, so he just signed his supermax extension. So
Yep.
he's on his second contract now. So you can't be like, oh, like no, he's okay. He's a vet. Like
It's not that because I mean everybody says Giannis can't shoot either, but at least Giannis has been taking threes. Like Ben Simmons refuses to shoot. 17
0
attempts
for
in 2
17.
years.
0 for 17.
Like you have to at least try.
Yep, 2 years.
Why shoot if you're going to miss? That's what I was saying last podcast.
How do you get game reps?
Because
without
you're not a
shooting
center.
game?
You're not a center
Yeah.
in the 80s. This is
I mean, basically it is.
Yeah,
yeah.
except he handles the ball.
Yeah, but you're a point guard or a 3 or wherever they want to put him. He's not a center. He's every position but. In 2019, today's NBA, you have to be able to shoot threes.
Yeah,
you have to.
Practice those in practice. Don't
Practice
shoot
them
them
in games. You need pressure on you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
games
like I
aren't
said,
practice.
How do you get game reps without
Dwight
shooting
Howard
them in
was
games?
making threes and
In
80%
open
free
gym.
throws.
Big
when he
Baby was
got in
shooting
the game, he was
4-point
terrible.
plays in the big 3, so I mean, he's one of the most dominant players.
I'm
in
just
the-
saying. I'm sure Ben Simmons is working on his 3, but why try it out in a game when you can get a higher percentage look from somebody else?
But if
pressure.
Because in the
Nerves.
playoffs, teams are going to play them a certain
you can
way.
sag off 10
Yep.
10 feet
Well,
off of him and
I mean-
clog the lane, why wouldn't you if he's unwilling?
Especially
yeah,
if you're going
you-
to play them 6 or 7 times in a row.
Yeah.
And you get to build the defense, taking advantage of that.
Double team Horford
I'm not
and Embiid every
saying
time.
I'm not saying it's bad that he can't shoot. It is bad that he can't shoot. But if you're not going to make it, why shoot it? It's just a loss of a play. You can
Get
have
better.
Because you have to try to keep him honest, at least have him contest
Because
sometimes.
exactly,
Yeah, but they're not
because
gonna contest if you miss.
But even if I disagree completely, because teams play Giannis off ball differently than they play Simmons. Because Giannis, you have to respect the fact that he will attempt it. So the gravity of the defender stays to him a little bit more. There's I could pull up a million screenshots of times where the Simmons defender is sucked all the way into the paint or all the way to the other side of the floor or providing help to a guy who's not even on ball just because he knows Simmons is 2 passes away and he's at the 3-point line, and he can play free safety because Simmons won't shoot it. That's why it matters.
Hey, I'm not saying he's going to be a bad 3-point shooter. I'm just saying well, he's going to work on it, but practice in practice. Don't practice in the game.
We talking about practice?
Well, if you're just
Practice.
going to practice in the whole time and you're never going to use it in the game, then what's
How
the
do you
point
know if you can
practicing
make
it?
them in games? Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
he's
yeah,
great in
He's
practice.
still working on it right now.
Still
Once he
working on it.
once he
He's going
gets
into his
better.
fourth
All right,
season.
So-
all right. In
so-
closing,
Yeah. I just like I said, my whole thing, and we discussed it before the show, Colin, is that essentially you can play them in a way where you're just going to force Embiid and Horford to beat you by shooting threes.
Yeah.
You can defend them that way, kind of you can do it pretty easily because you can sort of force those looks to happen. And if that's good enough to ride through a whole playoff run, cool. But I'll take my chances if I'm playing against them.
I'll let Embiid and Horford shoot, and then you're going to have Tobias Harris, a borderline all-star, be your playmaker for the whole year.
Who's their closer?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The game on the line.
Joel
You need
Embiid.
a bucket.
Embiid.
Joel Embiid, a center,
yeah.
His shooting percentages are pretty
and he's
bad.
also a terrible playmaker. He's a turnover
Yeah.
Well,
machine.
I mean,
He's got skill, but
His turnover
It's not
rate,
Ben Simmons.
His turnover, but it has to be though.
He can't
But
shoot.
I know, but it should be him. You get that, right? Like you understand.
should be,
You
but
understand why I'm
it's
saying
not.
why I'm saying this team.
I'd
is
rather
like,
have Joel Embiid.
These are my red flags. That's
Joel
all.
Embiid's a
Tobias
superstar.
Harris.
I'm very much. I think we have to do the. I think we have to do the Atlantic Division next, just because like I think we're going to have some really good like knockdown, drag out disagreements about Boston and Philly. We've kind of like teased that.
Throw the
We've
Nets
hinted
in
at
there
them.
now, too.
Yep. I think we're going to go with the Atlantic next week, just because I want to get into it and I want to get in there, but
I want to do the South. What's that one?
the Southeast.
Yeah,
you want
the
to do the one where the
Southeast.
Heat are the best team?
No, Hawks.
Oh, Hawks, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's fair.
Hornets.
Yeah.
I'll put any amount of money you want.
I'll bet my bank account the worst record.
No, I can't take that bet. That's a fact.
Ooh. Damn, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. I mean,
Is it? You don't know how Colin might
there have to
broke
be
as
so
fuck.
many injuries for that to not be true, though.
Yeah.
So many other teams
Who's
that
the
have to get
second
so
worst? Maybe
the Knicks.
Maybe, yeah, Phoenix. Maybe
No, it's going to be the Knicks.
they still had the worst record last year, though.
They play in the West.
Yeah,
They get,
but they got a point
beat
guard
up.
now.
They get beat up a lot.
I mean, they still had Booker and Aiden last year and couldn't do anything.
Didn't they get?
They won their usual 18 games.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hey, Booker said not another year was going to go by with him not making the playoffs.
And then they missed the playoff by 34 games.
They're 3 years away from being 3 years away.
They are the Bruno Caboclo of NBA franchises.
Hey, don't be saying that name. That's my claim for this offseason.
Oh, Bruno Caboclo?
Yeah, it's going to be my
Memphis
claim.
Grizzly, Bruno Caboclo?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, part of their summer league super squad.
You better
I do like
believe
their
it.
future.
Hey,
The future's bright. It's definitely a fun team.
hey. All right, teasing. All right, I had a few points.
Yeah.
Last week we brought up Steven Adams. I said he'd get traded.
That's true. Steven
Still-
Adams is still on.
Still
the
hasn't
Thunder.
got traded. I'm
With
pretty
Westbrook
surprised.
being gone, I could see him as one of the league's top 5 rebounders now that Russell's not stat padding.
I agree.
easy.
Yeah, I agree.
Also,
Sure.
fuck Ryan Hollins.
Fuck
Yeah.
Ryan Hollins.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
that's
He doesn't know what he's talking. I think he got dropped.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
That's the fuck this person of the week.
Yeah, are we going to do a fuck this person of the week? I don't know
Well,
if I
now
can
that
have one
Johnny
every
didn't
week.
bring a Lithuanian basketball superstar of the week to the table,
I got
he
one for you.
promised he would last week.
Istaris Sadrunas.
Is that sounds made up?
Look at his face. He can't even keep a straight
Istaris?
face.
Sounded like a Lithuanian guy.
Oh,
didn't it?
you're not. That's racist. I think.
Sounded like he was related to Ilgauskas.
Yeah, that's what I got. When he said Jabronis, I was like, that's just a name he knows. Those are just sounds Johnny's heard before. I don't believe him at all.
Auskis.
Yeah, if you end it with like US, yep, you're good to go.
Balinkas.
Palinkas?
Yeah.
Is that Rob's cousin?
Yeah.
Rob Palinkas?
Oh, fuck Rob Palinkas,
The
too.
assistant general manager?
The assistant to the general manager.
Damn it, I'm sorry. Name's Palinkas, assistant to the general manager.
Kirkless.
Now you're just saying family names. What are we doing? All right, we got to get out
Weird
of here.
flex, but okay.
Johnny's just talking. Johnny's going to start giving social security numbers on air, shit like that. Colin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I enjoyed this.
Yeah, it was absolutely a great time.
Don't
Thank
clap
you.
so loud in
Yeah.
the goddamn
Hey, killing
microphone.
lows here.
Everybody,
Stop.
oh my god.
Stop. But thank you.
First,
I wanted to show my appreciation.
Thank you for listening, wherever you are listening. We're still working on getting approved by Spotify and iTunes.
Spotify should be this week, hopefully. iTunes, we might or may not be up. No one has an Apple phone, so we can't really check. So if you're out there,
Team Android.
if
Team Android.
if you're out there with an Apple device, let us know.
I can check it out for you guys.
All right, thanks. That's what we
Hey,
have
appreciate
on.
it. Appreciate it.
Otherwise, we're working on Stitcher. We're on YouTube, Google Podcast. I think that's it. If
Yeah.
there's anything else you want, like holler at us.
Listen
it's,
where you
it's
listen.
your boy at it's your boy Gonzo.
Is it your boy or your boy? Like,
Your boy.
YA?
Why? Of course.
Is it BOI?
No, it's BOI.
BOI.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. These are all.
It's not boy.
I just want to let the
If
people.
it was,
It's your boy.
it's
not
your
big
boy. Yeah, I couldn't do that. That's too much. So it's just your boy. It's your boy Gonzo. Let me know if there's any other places we should be. I'm not going to be at our
Or just,
radio.
get the Twitter handle for Jabroni Sports. Tweet at us.
Yeah,
at
that's
Jabroni
right.
_sports.
All right,
Sports.
yeah, I do check the DMs there.
So
So
absolutely, get in contact with us. Thank you for listening. Tell a friend, like, subscribe, whatever.
tell a family. You got to tell one of your parents. We made that rule.
Yeah, we have to tell
Not
one
both.
parent.
Yeah,
But
one
one
parent.
We're
One
sensitive
parent.
to certain situations. One parent is all we're looking for.
You can actually email us at Jabroni _sports at gmail.com.
Is it underscore? I think it's just Jabroni Sports.
Is it Jabroni Sports?
It's Jabroni Sports.
We don't even know our email address.
Just slide
We'll put the other one in the CC line.
We'll let you know. We'll let you know which account
Just
comes
get us
through.
on Twitter.
And we'll answer some of your emails next week, perhaps, as we break down the Atlantic Division. But for AJ Firstenau,
Your boy Gonzo.
At GBabyLaFleur.
and again, joining us today was Colin Tarno. Thank you, Colin, and thanks, guys. Let's get after it. We'll see you next week, Jabronis.
Goodbye.
Peace out.